day everyone, and welcome again to another week of tech news. This time we'll bring up some very interesting news which may have something to do with very expensive loot boxes, so if you want to know more on that, do stick around. Now we'll just jump right into what we're going to be talking about right here, which are the loot boxes. Now this isn't just your average in-game loot boxes where you'll mostly get cosmetics and stuff. What we're talking about right here are GPU loot boxes. Recently, Amazon Japan had a seller offering what they dubbed as Lucky Boxes, and although it is currently out of stock, we did find out that it used to cost around 14,000 yen, which would be at around $120. The seller states that GeForce 30 series and Radeon 6000 series GPUs are new, and the rest of them will be a mix of both used and new GPUs. And of course, just like in-game loot boxes, the better the item, the less chance there is for you to get your hands on it. With a mere 2% chance for the new GeForce 30 series and RX 6000 series, 4% chance for GeForce 20 series and RX 5000 series, 8% chance for GeForce 10 series and RX 500 series, 16% for GeForce 9 series and RX 300 series, and 70% for the rest, which would include older and most probably used GPUs. And since there are no reviews from the buyers yet, the rest of us won't know if the cards they get is good or not, or if any of them actually got their hands on one of the rarer GPUs. Now, we did mention that the Lucky Box is currently out of stock, but we still want to recommend against buying these loot boxes since this is basically gambling, not to mention that buyers aren't allowed to return whatever they'll get from it. A Twitter post by WXNaught shows the specifications of RTX 3090 Ti Supreme X 24GB, and if this is true, it confirms that the card will feature 21GB per second memory. Besides having a 384-bit memory bus, the card also features clock speed of up to 1880 MHz in gaming and silent mode, and up to 1900 MHz in extreme mode with the usage of MSI Control Center software. As for its power consumption, it has a TDP of 480 watt, which means that it requires at least a 1000 watt power supply. And as for the card's pricing, it seems that it already has been listed by distributors and some retailers, and the pricing could go at around $3,654 to $4,497 US, which could make it one of the most expensive GPUs ever. It was also previously stated that RTX 3090 Ti will launch sometime in January, but sources have informed Tweaktown that there has been a delay to the RTX 3090 Ti's release, as Nvidia has asked its AIB partners to pause production for unknown reasons. And now, we'll talk about something that seems a bit weird that Nvidia did recently. So Nvidia did an update to its upcoming RTX 3050 product page, showing a performance graph comparing it to the previous GPUs, which is pretty much the norm since you want to see how much improvement it has compared to its predecessor. Except, the graph compares the performance of when ray tracing is being used, and the GPUs that it's being compared to are GTX 1650 and GTX 1050, and both of these cards do not have ray tracing, which is obviously why the performance is at 0. And adding the fact that GTX 1050 came out in 2016, of course RTX 3050 is going to outperform it. We'd be concerned if that wasn't the case. Nvidia also didn't specify what kind of performance they meant to show with this graph, though it might very well be frames per second. As weird as it is, at least we got a pretty funny meme here by Jared Walton from Tom's Hardware. Now we'll take a bit of a breather before we move on to the next piece of news, and if you're still here, then maybe click on the subscribe button if you don't mind. It won't cost you anything, and you'll be helping our little channel grow, so we really do appreciate your support by doing this. Back during this year's CES event, Intel announced the Intel Arc Alchemist GPUs, which will be coming in more than 50 desktop and laptop systems, and although the exact date hasn't been stated, it has been stated that it's going to be launching on Q1 of 2022. Besides this, Intel also hasn't disclosed more info on the GPU, such as the specs and the performance. With that being said, we'll just have to rely on leaks for now. Based on Twitter user Tom Apisak, Intel Arc Alchemist GPU, which is based on the XeHBG architecture, has been leaked within C Software Sandra database. The card features 4096 core count of the Intel DG2 512EU silicon and comes with a 2.1 GHz clock speed. It also says here that it's equipped with 12.8GB of memory, although the actual memory might very well be 16GB of GDDR6 memory. And when we take a look at general purpose processing data, Alchemist comes at a score of 9017.52 million pixels per second, which is 7.7% faster than Nvidia's RTX 3070 Ti GPU, which scored 8369.51 million pixels per second. There are also rumors that this GPU can clock up to 2.5 GHz and feature 225 watt power. And with previous speculations that this card is to compete with RTX 3070 graphics, if the mentioned leaks are to be trusted, then it might be able to do just that. Back in October last year, Valve mentioned that they'll be determining each game's compatibility with the upcoming Steam Deck console by introducing Deck Verified, where there'll be an indicator showing each game's status with the console. Verified means that no issues are present with the game running on Steam Deck, playable means that some features are limited, unsupported meaning that the game cannot be played, and unknown meaning that it hasn't been tested. And based on SteamDB, 86 games have been given Deck Verified status at the time of writing, although not all of the games listed here are verified. Now here's some examples of games for each status. Cuphead is verified, The Witcher 3 is playable, and Persona 4 Golden is unsupported. There's no confirmation of when Valve will have the Deck Verified status appearing on standard Steam store pages, but based on a Valve representative, it might not be long until that happens. And that'll be it for this video. If you've managed to get to this point of the video, give yourself a pat on the back, and again, consider liking the video and subscribe to the channel too if you still haven't done that yet. And hopefully, we'll see you again when we'll cover more tech news. So until then, take care.